Hey everyone, it's Matthew, also known as Telor, here today, just showing off my laser process a little bit and how to make a Meepleship. So I've just got the laser system here. This is like my front panel, and I have to turn on all these switches in order to get it to work. So I've got basically the controller that I turn on. This turns on moving and the computer screen that I'll show in a bit. And I have different air systems, which based on what I'm cutting I can switch to. It's not as exciting as it sounds. This is a airbrush pump that's just blows a little tiny stream of air that I use for plastic, and then this is an air compressor that I have in my garage that runs a much higher stream of air. This is the laser itself, which is what you heard just click on. Something like 15,000 volts. Yeah. And then this is my little laser pointer. It's like just a regular red laser pointer that's in line with the whole thing, so that I have a red dot to see where everything goes. And then this right here, as long as that is spinning, that means that my laser is being cooled. And then this here tells me how much power the laser is using. So this is in milliamps. So yeah, it's usually running in the 18 range is the maximum for this laser tube. So and then down below it I've got my air system here, which you can see is at 0 right now. And then this is my, it's very dark under here, but this is my laser cooler. And so that thing clicks on and you can see now everything's starting to flow. And you'll be able to watch it drop the temperature down pretty quickly. It'll heat up as it's running, as it's cycling water through really quickly, but you can see over here in the corner, like here, that it's about at room temperature. And it'll heat up because it's moving the water that's in the tubes. But once it's had a chance to cycle water that's getting cooled, it'll cool down very quickly. So I won't make anyone sit here and watch that, but believe me, it'll cool it down. And then this air system is controlled with a wireless outlet, so I'll be able to turn that on remotely and it'll build pressure up. Alright, it's had a few minutes to cool down. I've had a chance to turn my air compressor on. Now, you can see this is the bed of my laser, which, I mean, yes, it's a laser, it's a little bit of a mess, but I'm going to try and set it up so you can actually get to see the whole process of me putting a piece of material in and cutting it out. Before we get started though, this is kind of the starting area. You can see I did a little bit of a test engrave here on my control panel. So this controls the laser motion. I can even tell it to just kind of put a box around whatever it is I'm cutting to get a good idea of the size. Safety glasses that block the laser, a gauge that I use to set the laser height, and this is my lighting control. $5. It was great. And then this blue tape is perfect for holding some stuff down or masking material off. I use it quite a bit just to kind of keep things together in the laser. So I'll get it set up for the next putting the wood in, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so this is the piece of cherry that I'm using today, and you can tell that that is very thin. That is a 1/16 of an inch thick, which is about 1.5 millimeters for those of you in Europe. So I set this in here, and I have these guides on the side that tell me where to put it, and get it set in, and I can put in a couple of clamps, try and help it out. And if it's a tight spot or I can't really get a clamp to reach it, this is where that blue painter's tape comes in handy. So I can just tape it down. Yeah, it may not be perfect, but it's definitely going to keep it there. And then on my computer, which is next to me, I can go over to the file and send it over. that beep you'll hear a lot, that means that something is done or I pushed a button or anything like that. Um, and what I want to do is get this set in just the right position. You can see that red dot moving around. That tells me approximately where it is. Now this is way too far away, so I have to set my little tiny gauge in there, which is also quite small. But I use this for different pieces. So I can put that in there. And then the bed raises and lowers to set the height. And so now the laser is in focus. I can hit this button here. There's a reason I run that before I run the laser, just to make sure I don't run into anything like the camera tripod. And I can make adjustments based on where it moves to make sure I use the material fully. And I'm going to move the camera and then we'll give it a shot. So I had a bunch of audio recorded for this part and it didn't come through because I had to move the camera in the laser and it didn't pick up my headset. So you'll still get to see it get cut out, and it'll engrave all the details and then cut out each piece, and there'll be a little bit here when it's all done. I'll talk about it again. this real quick here. That's what it looks like when it's all done. So some of these pieces didn't quite stay in place. That's not usually a problem. There's nothing wrong with them. They just sometimes tend to fall out. So there's that dragon detail that I worked on last time. And you can even see the crew there in the middle, all the details. This is how it comes out of the laser. So I have to punch it out, do some cleanup, because all this stuff is very smeary, so I wipe it down with water and it takes away most of the smoke. And then punch it out, and the next video you'll get to see me actually do some of the process of putting it together, which is just takes way longer than this.